want a light one or a dark one? Or?
I think I prefer a dark one, actually. Just looking at the height of
Probably,
them.
because it's going to be the winter time.
Yeah.
Are you getting a buggy?
Well, eventually. It's tiny, isn't it?
Having a baby can be a bewildering time. There are so many choices to be made. The National Childbirth Trust can help at any stage during pregnancy and after the baby is born.
I think 4 months, yeah. Yeah.
When's the baby due? A week's time.
Louise and her husband Paul are expecting their first baby and are going to NCT antenatal classes.
Right, and you can use it from the baby being newborn.
And then at the end, what they'll do is everybody gets together, you know, when we've all had the babies.
Yeah.
So just bring us all back together
Oh,
and we can
lovely.
sort of talk about
Yeah.
what happened and everything.
Yeah.
And then they put you in touch with your sort of local group. You know, like the classes have been in Jesmond,
Yeah.
but there's actually a Gateshead group. And there's a support, somebody who organises that, and she's going to come round and see me before the baby's born.
That's good.
Things have changed a lot since Mary, Louise's mother-in-law, had her children.
But the first ones, you had to go on foot for a midwife, and she would arrive, and when you had to tell her when it was unbearable, at which point she gave you pethidine.
Yeah.
You didn't know what pethidine was.
What about books and literature, you know, was that
Oh, there
available?
was nothing, no, nothing like that.
Not even Dr. Spock?
I think that would have been seen as immoral. Yes. You didn't talk about things in those days, you know, Louise. When you didn't use the word pregnant.
Yeah?
Oh, that was disgusting. You had to practically go to confession for that.
Joan Arvold is Louise and Paul's antenatal teacher.
I think really one of the things that is the philosophy behind the classes is that couples feel prepared. They have all the information they want, which isn't necessarily everything there is to know, because that would be a different thing altogether. But the information that they need, that they have been wanting, so that they can sort of assimilate that and actually have the experience of birth, which is a memorable one and a joyous one, and one that they enter into feeling confident and believing in their own abilities, and at the end of the day looking back on it and feeling that was a good experience. And so, you know, one of the best starts for parenthood, really, feeling very positive and very much geared up for what lies ahead, which is, after all, the hardest work, parenthood.
The NCT believes in education for parenthood in its broadest sense. This not only means antenatal classes, but also postnatal support after the baby is born, and includes specialist help with breastfeeding. Our work is also going to schools to talk to children and to teenagers about pregnancy, birth, and looking after a baby. The vast majority of the NCT's work is provided by volunteers, but there is a small paid staff who work from the National Office in London, coordinating the training of teachers and counsellors and providing a backup to local branches. What I think is really special about the Trust's work is the opportunity for women to support each other and to voice publicly the issues that are important to them.
And it actually feels not too bad.
Right, almost straight.
You want to try and keep your feet flat.
Keep it almost
Yeah,
straight.
keep going. Feel comfortable.
Hold on.
Actually,
I
you're
should
pretty
hold
good
it
at going
further
down
back.
there anyway. Stand there.
As I say, some women like movements with the thumb, so you can actually, putting your hands on, really be firm with the thumb. Others prefer something like the heel of the hand. Find whereabouts it is. Might be that there's some backache there already, which is lovely because you can work with that. And push hard and make circular movements at that part. Do you have any backache? Yes. It's up there. Right, well, we'll come to that in a moment. We're looking at this for the time being. Okay? Firmly. What you want to avoid is this sort of... It's just irritant, and she'll tell you, actually. I don't think you need to be bothered about that at all. But just have a go at finding if there is a sort of achy spot. You have to work out what feels best between you.
Like all parents who attend NCT classes, Louise and Paul are finding out more about pregnancy and birth, learning relaxation and coping skills for labour, and talking with other parents about having a baby and the decisions they will make.
The brain organises more of the hormone, which increases the strength of the contractions. We get very powerful pushing contractions in the second stage of labour. Bearing down, and you'll feel, gosh, this is fantastic, it's coming, the baby's head is emerging, the contraction will end, and it'll go back. Another deep breath in while it's out there, and then release. Okay, a couple of shoulder rolls, get those moving, all of you who have got to drive home, and then forwards. Okay, and then up above.
Is that a contraction just there?
That was.
Yeah? Dear me, contractions. Never thought I'd see the day. Yeah?
You're
Oh,
asleep,
alright.
aren't you?
Knackered. Surprised. You just keep yourself open. Keep slamming at you.
Is that what you want? Do you want to try the gas in here? Yeah. Yeah, well, would you prefer... Are we testing the door? Can't be...
I suppose if you use it, you can stop and then start it again later if we decide to go on to peppermint or something.
No, that's right. Yeah. Because it's... Again, that doesn't... You know, you can use gas in here, have peppermint instead, but we can epidural, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be necessary, to be honest. Because you've coped so well so far.
This is cold now.
Yes. Give yourself some credit, Louise. You're doing great.
Sure it's cold enough, eh? Done.
Easy enough. Still there, but it's easy enough.
I've got like things and needles all over us.
Ready?
And with a little gentle push like
Just
that.
gentle one.
Very gently. Now just pant. Oh, that's super. This baby's head out. Oh,
Never believe it.
all right, I'll just check. Oh, baby's neck. Make sure there's no cord. Oh, right. And with the next contraction.
That's it.
Oh, what a difference.
Do you feel better?
Oh yeah. Whoa!
It's
There
off.
we are.
It's off.
Right. At 15 minutes past. There you go. Well done. Bit stunned. Hiya. Come on, give a good yell. Come on, give a good yell. Oh, gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. You might need a little suck out. Oh, little.
It's a boy.
Is he all right?
Is
They do at first. I'm just gonna. Oh, he's all right. He's yelling. It sounds like he's got a lot of fears in there. Oh. That's lovely. Right. Right, shall I wrap him up?
Keep him fit.
Oh, he's so cold. Do you want to bring that blanket over in the cot? Is Daddy going to have a cuddle? Right. Shall we see that to earth now? Do you think?
So,
I'll need to
something in his eyes.
give you the injection.
I'm your dad. This is
We're
your
a bit
mum.
messy, aren't we?
I don't believe you're here.
Always a bit.
tears in his eyes and tears in mine.
Oh, it's all right, lovey. He's lovely. So that was 13 minutes past 1.
I couldn't believe it.
Is that Carolyn? I'm from the NCT class, and my baby's 3 weeks old now. And I was wondering if you could come over to the house just to discuss a few problems and queries that I have with the breastfeeding.
Hello, Louise.
All right, come in. It's windy, isn't it? It is. Will that sort of slow down as, you know, as the feeding goes on?
Many women choose to breastfeed. After their baby is born, they may find they would like reassurance or information about the practicalities of feeding. Anyone may contact a breastfeeding counsellor, whether or not they belong to the NCT. Breastfeeding counsellors are mothers who have breastfed a baby themselves, and like NCT antenatal teachers, have undergone specialist training. They are supportive towards all mothers. Breastfeeding counsellors actively promote breastfeeding, but are flexible in their attitudes and are positive and supportive if a mother chooses to bottle feed.
Then that should help to stem the immediate flow.
Right. At the hospital, they seem to sort of suggest that you needed winded, you know, after every feeding, and sort of sit him up and rock him around. But when he's as peaceful as this...
It'd be a shame, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
After the birth of the baby, new mothers can feel isolated. NCT postnatal groups can offer friendship, a chance to meet socially and share experiences.
I wanted to have some contacts in the area that we'd moved into, because I moved when I was pregnant. And so Emma loves it. She's got lots of friends and I've got lots of people. So if you're having a bad day and you just want somebody to go and call up and go to the park or have an impromptu picnic or something, it's great. Well, a neighbour used to have open houses because she's a member of the NCT, and she's got a little boy who's a little bit younger than my daughter, and she just asked me if I wanted to pop over, so I just got chatting to them all. And my conceptions of the NCT were perhaps not very accurate, because I thought it was quite cliquey and perhaps the idea of it being frowning on anybody who had any pain assistance and things like that during birth, and I'm a real coward, and so that didn't really appeal to me very much. But in fact, when I met the real people, it wasn't like that at all. And they're just really nice, ordinary people, and made a lot of friends through it. So it's been really good. I've enjoyed it. And so since then, I've also decided to help out with the breast pumps. So I have 5 pumps, and so. If people want to hire pumps when they've newly had babies, then I hire them out.
Sue's baby is in special care and cannot be breastfed at present, so she has hired a pump from the NCT to express her milk to give to her baby in hospital. A breastfeeding counsellor can support a mother with a premature or sick baby to help establish her milk supply or keep her breastfeeding going. Some parents need special support because of their particular circumstances. For example, the NCT has support groups for women who want a home birth, have had a caesarean or suffered a miscarriage. Groups are also run for working mothers and for parents with disabilities. Sharon and her husband are blind.
Bottle feeding, which I had to get onto the National Childbirth Trust then to find out whether they could give us any ideas of how we could bottle feed, because obviously we couldn't see to make up formulas and things like that. So they put us in touch with some other blind parents who bottle feed, and we got some ideas from them.
The NCT's work doesn't stop here. It publishes New Generation to keep members up to date, produces a range of leaflets and books for parents and health professionals, and offers other specialist goods, including a range of maternity bras.
Because of the bump. Yeah. And underneath, I expect you noticed when we put it on, there are these 2 pieces here which do come together once the pregnancy's over, but they won't to begin with.
Educational and social activities and the sale of maternity wear help with fundraising. As a registered charity, the NCT works hard at all levels to maintain its income. New projects are initiated nationally, and the contributions made by branches and their members are vital if the trust is to continue to develop. The NCT contributes to the ongoing debate about maternity care and campaigns for improved policies both nationally and locally. A major concern is to keep open small maternity units and extend continuity of care. Eileen Hutton, President, has addressed the Health Minister on the subject, expressing what it is that women want.
What most women want from the maternity services is continuity of care, to enable them to build a good working partnership with the people who'll be looking after them during labour. You're more likely to get continuity of care if you book into a small GP unit or if you book for a home birth than if you book into a large consultant unit.
Much NCT knowledge is based on the experience of parents. However, research is necessary to show clearly which aspects of care are most appropriate. The NCT surveys its members and also works with specialist researchers on controlled trials of treatment. Many members sit on health committees to represent users of maternity care. Sue Bruton addresses the National Conference of Community Health Councils,
which stated that they wished midwives to be the first port of call for a pregnant woman and to be the central part of her care, with a decision as to whether medical assistance was required taken by that midwife, so that the mother would be referred on to a consultant when the midwife, in her own expertise, decided was necessary.
Thank you. I shall now put motion 8 to the vote. Those in favour of this motion, please show. Thank you.
Well, he's about...
1.
No, well, that's stones and pounds. We want kilograms. He's about 4 kilograms. Can you write?
Children are fascinated to find out about how babies grow. They can learn a lot by looking at animals and seeds, but there is nothing so powerful as seeing real babies and their mothers.
And they took you might hair on your
Yes, it's neatness.
So right. How do you actually get the milk in your tummy?
In my tummy? No, it's going straight from my breast into his tummy. I mean, how do I make the milk?
Yeah.
I don't really know. Helen, can you tell us? It's something that mummies' bodies do. After you've had a baby, your brain says, oh, this baby's going to want feeding. So your breasts start to make milk. And then as they suck, as the baby sucks, you make more milk. Right? So it's very clever, isn't it? It's magic.
How does actually the baby start? It starts from little cells from a man and a lady.
Since the NCT began over a generation ago, ordinary people's knowledge and confidence in childbirth has grown enormously, and education for parenthood has become well established. The NCT has led the way through its training, teaching, counselling and support groups, influencing parents and health professionals alike. The NCT is helping to ensure that these children, the parents of tomorrow, will be ready for parenthood when their turn comes.